No minutes to. And I have 3 cases that are set for hearing. I'll call those cases in a moment. But may I ask everyone who wishes to testify in any of these cases to please raise your hand and be sworn in?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony and evidence you're about to give at this time shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Now we can put people in the waiting room, except for the people that are going to testify in the Perez case.
Yes.
All right.
That's it?
Yep.
All right, I'll call Perez, which is 25022. This is a request for rezoning from B1 local business to R4 single family residential business. It's an Addison Township case currently zoned as B1. It's about a 0.3 acre site serviced by well and septic. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on May 20, 2025. Do I have any exhibits in the case?
That's one survey site for me.
Okay, I have a survey site plan, which I'll mark as petitioner's exhibit number 1. And who's making the presentation for the case?
I
Mr.
am.
Perez? I trust you are.
Yes.
All right, sir, what do you have to tell us?
I mean, what did you need to know? I'm just trying to convert it to residential,
Could you
planning on
speak up?
build.
Sir, could you speak up a little? Can't quite hear you.
I was just planning on converting it to residential to build a home.
To build a home?
Yes.
Thought there was a home already on it.
No, so the plat survey shows a shell, but it's not. Essentially they sold it as a lot. We bought it as a lot. But the
Okay.
home on there,
Is there a building on the property right now?
yes, but it's not habitable.
All right, so you're gonna take down the building that's there?
Planning on reconditioning it and then adding on to it.
All right, did you get the materials that we sent as to what you have to show in order to make the statement of the case?
Which materials?
Yeah.
Hearing on.
Yeah. Didn't I have a write-up on this case, or was that a different case?
No, it's just the hearing letter from May 20th.
Yeah, that he got.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have what's called a hearing letter from May 20th?
Yes.
Okay, well, you have that letter with you because it tells you what you have to discuss and prove up at this hearing.
Yes, I do. I got the email.
I don't know how you received it, sir. All I'm asking you is if you're prepared to proceed to prove up the things that you were told about in the hearing letter, or at least make a statement about them.
Page 2 of hearing.
Yeah.
Well, fire away.
You're just asking me to answer the questions.
I'm
that are
asking
on
you to make you request a rezoning. There are certain
Yes.
things that you have to talk about in the request for rezoning. All you said, I mean, I read the zoning request and all you said was a repeat of the request that you want to rezone. So I need to know the information that is set out on page 2 of the May 20th hearing letter. It is not difficult information. It's just a statement about each of those points.
Okay. The existing property, I think I already answered that question. The second question, the zoning classification of property, it was zoned as a business type property. That's what it's currently at. And then the suitability of the property, I already answered that. It's not habitable. It's kind of just a shell of a building.
Oh,
It
no,
was used.
not the suitability of the property means suitability in its current, suitability for use as a business property, not suitability of the structure.
Okay, I mean, yeah, it wasn't suitable for anything.
You have no understanding of what this zoning request is about, do you?
I mean, I don't think you've made it clear. I'm just answering the questions.
But what I told you is that's not a proper answer. The question is, the standard for rezoning is the parcel in question suitable for a business use under the current zoning category? Not the structure, nothing to do with the structure.
I don't think I'm not trying to build a business.
Jesus. Yeah, I know you're not trying to build a business.
So what would qualify me to determine that?
I'm not your lawyer, I'm the judge. So this is what you have to state. If you want to rezone a property, you have to discuss what's the matter with the current zoning. Is this parcel suitable for a business use under the current zoning category? This is a kind of a in the abstract question. It has nothing to do with the structure or what you want to do. It simply is it suitable to use as a B1 property?
I would say no
Why?
because of its current condition.
I just said it has nothing to do with the structure. I'm talking about the parcel itself.
Okay, well, yeah, it's zoned for business.
Right.
Yes.
What's wrong with that zoning?
What's wrong with what my intentions for it?
Okay, you are totally misunderstanding even the simple rephrasing of the standards that I'm trying to give you. If this property were vacant and you were not the owner, would it be suitable for a business use? Because that's the zoning.
Yes.
It would. Okay, then what's the next question?
The trend of development, if any, in the general area of the property in question, including changes, if any.
So what has been built, what in the surrounding properties, what has been built in the recent past?
Houses.
Okay. What's the next question?
The length of time property has been vacant
Yeah,
as zoned.
it's not vacant, right? It hasn't been vacant?
I mean, I've owned it, but it has been vacant. We haven't been using it for anything
For how long?
for about 8 years.
Okay, what's the next question?
The extent to which the property values are diminished by particular zoning restrictions.
Yeah, is the property and the surrounding properties value diminished because it's a business zoning? If you don't know, then say, I'm not an expert on values.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, what's the next question?
That was it.
Okay, has the property been marketed or attempted to be sold in the last 5 years?
No.
All right. Do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Sir, when you have a request for rezoning, that's a significant petition for relief. You should either familiarize yourself with zoning concepts generally or ask someone to help you that can provide the information. I went a little farther than I'm supposed to in pulling the information out of you. but I have all the information I need to make the decision. Well, wait, there's another item or two. What surrounds the property? I want to get that in the record. What's on both sides, across the street and behind you? What are the
Uh,
uses of those properties?
houses, except to the right of it, there's a business.
What's the
Yeah.
business?
It's a Tupperware business. That one, it would be the only one. It's on the corner.
And when you say to the right, you're talking about, I guess that's north, huh, from,
Yeah, towards Lake Street.
okay. And what's across the street of Ninth Avenue or whatever that says?
On that corner, there is the health department, but it's more in front of that other business building. It's not directly across from me.
All right, so there's both residential and business adjacent to your property, is that right?
Yes,
All right, that's all I have. Do you have anything else?
that's it.
I'll close the hearing. You'll get a decision within the next little bit, and the recommendation hearing will be June 18th at 3 o'clock. You can present yourself by Zoom or just wait for the decision to be made. And then the matter goes to the County Development Committee for further consideration, and then ultimately the full county board. Okay,
Oh, okay, thank you.
thank you very much. Hi, okay, I'm gonna call 25031. This is the variation case, and the petitioner, how do you pronounce your name?
Kim Blahuchek,
Bloshak?
close, yeah.
What, Blueshak?
Blahuchek.
Okay, Blauchek is the petitioner, and this is a request for variation to increase the height of a new fence in the rear yard from the permitted 6.6 feet to approximately 8 feet. It's a Downers Grove Township case on 0.24 acres serviced by water and sewer. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on May 20, 2025, and I have no objections from any of the entities, municipalities, or departments of the county to which we have sent notice of this case. I have a few exhibits here. The first is a survey. The second is a site plan showing the location of the new fence. And group exhibit 3 are a series of photographs submitted by the petitioner, and there are 3, 4, 5, 7 photographs in group exhibit 3. You were sworn in?
Yes,
Okay, would you just, I mean, I understand basically what you need. Tell me the height of the fence in the abutting Cass Avenue is 8 feet. What about these, what about the fences on the side of the house? What's the height of those?
they'll just be standard 6 foot. I'm just requesting the 8 foot to just be on the back.
On the back, okay.
Yeah.
And just tell me the basic reasons.
Okay, so my backyard slopes very downward, and then right when the fence starts, the yard on the other side slopes upward to get to the sidewalk. So we have zero privacy. When people are walking on the sidewalk, they can clearly see every bit of our grass. They see my kids playing and swimming in their swimsuits. We see everybody. There's zero privacy. We have more of a slope than our neighbors going down and then going up to Cass Avenue. So
Okay,
they have the same, sorry.
sometimes security is an issue as well, or do you have any general
Yes.
concerns about security?
Yeah, so like my kids will be in their swimsuits playing around, and we have like teenagers or men grown up walking by making comments to them. Hey, or cute kids or things like that. And it's very unsettling. A lot of times my kids end up playing in the front yard because they don't want to deal with people in the backyard.
Okay. First of all, we made a mistake in taking you second rather than first, because I understand you're at work and you have some time sensitivities. I have enough
That's okay.
information to make a decision about the case. It's gonna be my intention to recommend approval. You'll get a decision on June 18th. at the recommendation meeting, which is at 3 o'clock. You don't need to attend because you'll probably be at work then too. But we can stay in touch by email, okay? And then the matter goes to the County Development Committee and finally the full county board. Should that occur by the end of June?
That would go to July 8th.
And the 8th would be.
Oh, we think it'll be early July before it's finalized.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too. Okay, I'm gonna call 25026, which is a Faywell petition. This is two variation requests. The first is variation to allow a detached accessory building, namely a proposed shed, in front of the front wall of the existing home. And number two, a variation to reduce the interior side yard for a new shed from the required 10 feet to approximately 3 feet. The matter was published in the Daily Herald on May 20, 2025. It's a Winfield Township case on 0.7 acres. And I have no comments or objections from any of the authorities to whom we've circulated the petition. I have a survey as exhibit 1, a site plan as exhibit number 2, and a brief, which includes photographs, as group exhibit number 3. Mr. Faywell, were you sworn in, sir?
I was, yes.
Okay, you want to just sort of make your case if you would?
Of course. So Morris Court it's a little dead end wooded street. It kind of goes into Blackwell Forest Preserve almost. Our house was built in, I believe, 1947. We're on a dirt crawl. And I think based on the age of the house, it's right at the back of the lot. We have, maybe 5 feet from the back wall of our house to the fence at the back of our lot, which is on the north end of the property. And with the eaves overhanging, there's basically no room to really put anything back there. Our family is growing. We have an 18-month-old and another child on the way. Also, my mother passed a few years ago, and we inherited a lot of stuff. We have no basement space, no attic space, so we want to add a prefabricated 20 by 10 shed. We want to rest that on a level gravel base just off the side of our driveway, right outside of our garage. And based on the configuration of the property, the only place that we can put it is going to be in front of the front wall of the property. There's no room to place it on the east side that's behind the front wall of the property. There just isn't sufficient room with the woods and how close the house is to that eastern border. And on the west is where our septic field and tank are, basically in the back northwest corner, right off the back northwest corner of the house, is our deck, under which is our septic tank. And extending south from there, basically to or past the front wall of the house, is where the septic field is. So it would be really impossible to build any type of structure over there. We do have a shed well up towards the front of the property that was already there, probably built in the late 40s as well, based on its condition. It has our well pump in it and things like that. So that's already there. And we looked at this and said, if we're going to add any storage space of any kind, this is about the only place to do it. We'd have to take maybe 1 or 2 bushes out, but there's a lot of large oak trees around the rest of the property. We wouldn't want to disturb those and disturb the kind of natural character of the yard, which is the character of the rest of the yards on our street. So we figure next to the driveway, next to the garage, as close as we can get to our own house is the best place to do it. However, in order to do that, we're going to need to have a variance to allow us to put it in front of the front wall. And based on where the driveway is, we're going to need to put it about 3 feet from the fence, which, if I remember correctly, is okay if it's behind the house, although I'm not sure about that. I know that there are other outbuildings in various neighboring properties that are close to the property lines. There's a real rural character to this little street with all the woodedness and whatnot.
Mr. Faywell, I understand your case. I
sorry.
understand the standards for the variation that you've testified to. I know that the hardship, unique circumstance, practical difficulty is satisfied by virtue of the configuration of the lot and the existing vegetation, existing septic. So, I've got enough to make a decision about the case. Do you have anything else you want to add?
I guess I'd just add that both of our next door neighbors have said that they're okay with it. As part of the signed letters in there are both of the next door neighbors and the gentleman who lives behind us. So, I mean, I think that based on their blessing, I think that's probably about, to me, the only thing that would prevent this from going through is if one of the neighbors strenuously objected, but all of the properties that border ours said that they're okay with this. So I would ask that the variance be granted.
All right, thank you very much. I just want to note for the record that this relief that should be granted will relate only to the proposed new shed. It will not relate to the existing frame shed, which is there by virtue of if it was built in 1947 or so, likely to be a pre-existing use. However, if that becomes damaged or it requires replacement, you'll have to ask for additional new relief for that shed, because this might case only relates to what's been requested with respect to the new shed.
Understood.
All right, so you'll get a decision at our recommendation meeting, which will occur at 3 o'clock on June 18th. I'll give you a sneak preview. It's my intention to recommend approval. And that recommendation goes to the County Development Committee and finally the full county board. Okay,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
right. Thank you very much, sir.
Take care, everyone.
Holcomb. I'll call finally the 024, the Holcomb petition. This has been requested to be withdrawn by the petitioner, and for the record, we'll accept the withdrawal. And we'll go off the record in that case, but stay on the record with respect to the meeting. Geez, look at this. We have no old business, no new business, and so I'm ready to adjourn the meeting.